most of you were here. I lost a granddaughter over in Idaho Falls. Her name was Grayson. I appreciate the representative from Coos Bay who gave me some building blocks with her name. Grayson's in my office today. But I need to kind of share this story a little bit, and then I can move forward, Madam Speaker, with my position with this bill today, because it'll kind of give you a little bit more light for the consideration of whether or not you really want to support this bill for what Representative Stark was trying to address on the issue. My oldest daughter and her husband, their family, moved from New York, upstate New York, about 2 years ago to Idaho Falls. She became pregnant her third time. About 25 weeks into the gestation period, doctors there in Idaho Falls recognized that she was having some problems with the baby that she was carrying. That baby, the concern was that the baby inside was dying because she was not getting the nutrients that she needed. And it boiled down to a choice of whether or not they just let the baby die inside of mom or do an emergency C-section and at least let the baby live. They had a specialist come up from Salt Lake City, just 3 hours away, to describe the whole issue. Okay, so I'll move this story forward real fast. It just so happened that my wife Pam and I are over there visiting them anyways, which was kind of goofy. And just within the next day or two, we were supposed to be back here, because we were getting ready to start session for the short session. I missed the first week of the short session, and again, I got to tell you, Madam Speaker, and there's so many of you, thank you so much for your prayers and the support back then. They were huge. They were huge for me. But anyways, that night, the night before, my oldest daughter made a choice with her husband as to what to do with that baby that she was carrying. I was so proud of her. I mean, I'm not sure what I would have done if I'd been her, but she chose to go in for emergency C-section the very next morning at 5 a.m. And this is at 10 o'clock at night that we're talking about this. And I thought, man, I cannot believe the strength of my daughter. I could not believe it. So they went in for C-section. My wife Pam and I were wandering down the hallways just outside of the emergency room area, or where the surgery was at, and we meet this first doctor. He's got a big beard on. He just took off all of his garb. They just got done. And he comes out, he's just beaming with a big smile. And he says, I can't believe it. She is so much better than what we thought she was going to be. This was little Grayson. She was only 1 pound. She's 25 weeks old. And I got a chance to see her in the NICU center. Didn't get a chance to touch her or anything like that. But I mean, the point being is that this was a whole little girl. This was a granddaughter. And she lived for 3.5 months. She grew to 4 pounds. They were going to let her go at 4 pounds. But, God called her home. I can't reconcile in my mind why anybody who has a walk with God can support this. I can't reconcile that in my mind, Madam Speaker. I'm sorry, but I can't get there with it. It was difficult for me. I just needed to share that with you. I'm a no.